Hey guys, and welcome to some more Star Citizen. I just wanted to do a quick news update about some stuff on my channel, as well as other bits and bobs going on in the Star Citizen world. I wanted to give the giveaway on my channel this month a little bit more love, because it's a bigger one. So for one lucky YouTube subscriber, you will win a Drake Buccaneer. All you need to do is be subscribed to my YouTube channels, and comment on any of my Star Citizen videos during April. If you have any questions about the game, about ships, for me, or for the devs, please let me know. I will be going out of my way to ask and answer questions where I can. The next concept ships. The new Banu Defender concept ship. Its working title used to be the Minuteman. The ship might actually be called the Defender, or as like some form of human translation of its name, or it might be called the Minuteman, or it might have a totally different name now. It's sounding like the ship is geared towards escorting the merchantman or other cargo vessels, and we should see it go on sale in the extreme near future, so within the next few weeks. We are also expecting to see some more on the Banu race, as well as the Banu merchantman at that time too, when that goes on concept sale as well. After that, I'm expecting to see the Aegis Eclipse and the Origin 600 series as the next two concept sales, and then in the latter half of 2017 the other concept ships will be geared towards non-combat roles, so we're going to start to see maybe scavengers and that sort of jazz. I received my 1080 Ti, my Nvidia super graphics card, so I wanted to talk very briefly about that. I updated from a 1080, so it wasn't a huge update, although the card is pretty cool. So I put Star Citizen through its paces with in 1080p, in 1440p, and in 4K DSR in the latest 2.6.2 patch. So the actual patch itself was giving me a load of frame spikes, but after going through some performance settings and updating to the latest drivers, I do seem to have fixed the majority of those problems I was having. I do run everything at very high quality, and I will be talking about frame rates really relating to Star Marine and Arena Commander here mostly, anyway, as the persistent universe is still relatively server and network restricted, although in the latest patch I have had some relatively good performance. So performance in 1080p was only fractionally better with my Ti over my 1080. Typically frame rates around 60 to 80, changing based on what I'm looking at. In 1440p I was getting more stable frame rates than I was previously, around 55 to 80, but with occasional drops to around 30 FPS in some situations where like grenades would be going off, or high combat situations, normally where explosions were involved. And in 4K DSR, which is dynamic super resolution, because I don't have a 4K monitor, that's where basically you render in 4K and then downscale to whatever resolution. 1440p I was downscaling to in this case. I had a great experience at a bearable 40 to 60 frames, with occasional drops to 25 in some situations. Now those frame spikes that I was getting at 1440p and 4K are annoying, and some places just make me go, well, this is hell. But it is a lot better than it used to be. At the moment, Star Citizen is totally unoptimized and has very little driver synergy with AMD and Nvidia, and I feel that the 1080 Ti is kind of a waste for the most part. Something like a 1070 or is going to be great for 1080p resolutions. I'm saying 1080 a lot. I'll try and call them GeForces and stuff when I do that. So a GeForce 1080 or a 1080 Ti should only really be considered if you're going into the high frame rate 1440p kind of res stuff, or going into 4K realms with some concessions. But I would have to lower my graphic settings and fiddle around with stuff. But Star Citizen doesn't really scale well at the higher end of hardware at the moment, and it just feels like a waste at buying one. My advice is to wait. Wait until the game's a bit more complete before building a PC for it or upgrading. And if you can't wait, then consider a 1060 or a 1070. Sean Noonan's blog. In Sean Noonan's blog, he talks about Alpha 2.6.2 and some of the FPS level design changes that he has made in more details. There have been some changes to Station Damien, most drastically closing the Outlaws line of sight advantage on points A and B by adding covers to the walkways and blocking some of the open space above. That prevents grenades and prevents cheap shots. On the B side, containers have been stacked up and some of the space has been closed up there, preventing, again, cheap grenades being thrown across the point so easily, but kind of funneling people into certain points. The windows at point C have been closed up as well for easier capturing of the point. On Echo 11, Sean has moved the Terminal A to the upper floor to split the distributions of Marines from spawn, so specifically from game start. It also encourages more EVA to be used in the level now too. CIG will continue to tweak Star Citizen, Star Marine and Arena Commander in all forms, from level design to visual quality, and the level changes here are an example of changes based on your feedback. So our feedback gets crunched down into some sort of feedback for them, and they make changes to levels, which is great. It's the sort of stuff we want for balance when it comes to a competitive FPS, and that's what they eventually want Star Marine to be, some form of competitive FPS, or for at least to feel competitive. Track IR and all that sort of jazz. So Track IR is back and supported in Star Citizen. I have my Track IR, ED Tracker and some similar devices all on the ways to me. I will get an article and video up about these devices, their uses, review of them, and compare them for functionality and see what works for Star Citizen and what doesn't, and what's worth it and what's not. But you can use it on with FPS stuff as well, not just looking around your cockpit. You can use it to aim, you can use it for lots of different stuff. Buyback tokens. Buyback tokens have been attributed to backer accounts. They allow you to repurchase previous pledges using store credit. You can find them at My Hangar Buyback Ledges. Some sub stuff now. The Gladius Valiant is usable by subscribers throughout April. Backers that subscribe before April 17th will get a free Big Benny's machine hangar flare thing. This is in addition to any other normal hangar flare given to subscribers. And subscribing just gets you some extra bits, perks and stuff like that. It's not essential to play the game at all. All you need, you don't need to buy any ships either, other than a starter package for $45. That is all you need to get into the game, and everything else is obtainable in verse. We should be seeing more of the Cutlass Black rework on Thursday in ATV, so stay tuned for that. We also have Matt Sherman on the Redacted podcast tonight on Wednesday, so watch that live on twitch.tv/Twack17 or WTFosaurus, or see the video here when it goes. I upload it at some point on Thursday. A massive thank you to my Patreons and GameWisp supporters, as well as supporters of my stream. I love you guys. You've been amazing. Thank you so much. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, as it really does help me. And make sure you enter that giveaway. Woo!